What's going on, guys? Coach Stoneface here. Just want to do some picks. Just so you know, I'm going to actually do week 6 and 7 at this video. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to split them up or not, but we'll do my best. Just as you can see from kind of the mess behind me, I am just in the middle of a move, or getting ready for a move, so I'm not going to have access to my computer starting here in a day or two, and then not for a couple weeks. So we'll go through my week 5 picks. We'll go through my week 6 picks, which do have some research with them, and then my week 7 picks is really just throwing something against the wall and hoping I'm right. But obviously, you're going to talk about momentum. You're going to talk about some matchup information I don't have yet. So yeah, and obviously injuries and what have you happen. So week 5, I mean, Thursday night started off rough with the Bucks losing to the Bears. It wasn't a great game to watch. So it's unfortunate I lost a 1-point game. You never really know which way those are going to go. But yeah, I mean, Bucks need to pick it up for this week. And we'll see what my thoughts are with them this week. But Bucks definitely need to change some things. Panthers Falcons. I mean, big ups on me for picking the Panthers. And I remember I picked this before Julio was out, and I know that did change some of the matchups and some just the momentum again of the game. But Panthers are rolling right now. They're a good team. Ravens over Bengals. Both teams left some points on the board, but Ravens just were in complete control of that. One thing I am concerned about, I mean, this is from a fantasy perspective, but this is also from just a straight football perspective, is the fact that the Ravens are their top 10 team in the NFL in rushing this year, but they don't have a running back who's ranked in the top 35 of a week. So that means their best running back has been second string, if not worse, on any other team. So that definitely is concerning. Lamar's still running. I mean, he's still running well. Things I've said weren't going to happen this year, so I'm a little wrong there. But I remember the Jags-Texans game. I said the math said Jags, but my heart said Texans. I should have followed it. I didn't. And when you look at what I did down here with the Browns and Colts, when I said I followed my gut and they were right, I need to do that a little bit more. I was just talking to a buddy about this earlier today. You know, it's one thing to follow the line. It's one thing to follow the betters and see all that kind of difference. The statistics, or when we're going to talk about the Browns and Steelers game. We're like, well, Browns are 0-16. Steelers are Ben Roethlisberger himself. I think he's like 25-2-1. Don't quote me on those numbers, but against the Browns, those only matter a little bit because the teams change and everything like that. I just want new head coaches, interim head coaches don't do well. The Jags were playing pretty well. The Texans were not. I was clearly wrong. Chiefs Raiders, I can't really take credit for it, but I did say that if there was going to be an upset last week, it would be the Raiders over the Chiefs. I didn't pick it. I didn't think it was going to happen. I just thought that the way the Raiders played was going to be a tough matchup against the Chiefs, and it turned out it was. Cardinals beat the Jets. Steelers beat the Eagles. The Bills beat the Titans. I mean, I would have thrown a lot of money at the Titans that game. At the Bills that game. The Titans should not have won that game. I mean, the Bills looked bad. The Titans didn't look great, but they looked a heck of a lot better than the Bills. With Titans not being able to practice, I'm sure they did, but they weren't allowed to practice for a couple weeks. Just when you're only a couple weeks into the season and you're still, you're without your wide receiver, your running back, was notorious for being a slow starter. Losing those reps, losing that, especially with no preseason, just losing all that continuity within your team, especially when you're on a heater. I didn't think they were going to be able to overcome that. I really didn't. I thought the Bills were going to walk away with that game. They did not. I also didn't think the game was being played. So it was in the end good on the Titans. Happy to see them succeed, I guess. I'm not one of these guys that think you should ban the Titans or kick the Titans out of this season because of COVID. Look, things happen. Should they have been practicing? No. But the original test, I mean, we're up to over a third of the league now has had positive tests or has somebody on COVID-19 injury list, whether it be a coach, whether it be a player. You can't blame the Titans. Could things have been done differently? Absolutely, but it is what it is. And I mean, we're going to see with the Broncos-Patriots game being canceled last week. I mean, just again, it's 1:00 on Friday. We just had another 2 players potentially test positive for the Patriots this week. So who really knows what's going to happen next week? Rams, Washington, way it should have happened. what's funny with this game, and I went back and looked at the recording. I didn't say it. I actually had the Dolphins on my notes. I just, while talking about it, I picked the 49ers, but I had the Dolphins on my notes, which is, one of those things that I didn't even realize that I picked a team differently than what I picked. I just did. Browns beat the Colts, which I saw coming. Cowboys beat the Giants. I mean, shout out to Dak. Unfortunately, that's a gruesome injury that you don't want to see any player go through, whether you like the team or not, or really whether you like the player or not. But Dak is just one of those great guys. To me, he makes the Cowboys bearable to watch because he's not that. As much as I'm on the Browns train this year, and there are people that make comments to me that I'm too biased on certain teams, the Vikings, the Browns. There's a couple different teams I am. The Cowboys are a team I don't want to like, and there's a team that a lot of people don't like, but I think Dak makes that team likable. So it's really tough to see that. Vikings, man, give Seahawks a run for their money, but just couldn't pull it all in the end. And same thing, you want to talk about the Chargers, who've lost. The games they've lost have been, they lost by 7 to the Bucs, but everything else has been, they have 2 overtime games and a 1-point game. So Chargers got to get it together a little bit, but they made it interesting. The Saints did not look well. But same thing that happened against KC. You kind of start off really well, and then it falls apart the rest of the game and in overtime. So I went 9-5 on the week. I mean, considering I was really wrong on a couple games, I'll take 9-5. Drops my year-to-date down to just under 70% at 68.84. I mean, we were just about 69.84, so really I dropped 1%. So it's going to be a tough road ahead to increase that again, but let's see what we can do here. Texans, Titans. I mean, I got to go with everything here. I think the Titans are just the better team. You saw what they did against the Bills last week after that rest. I just don't think the Texans have enough weapons. Yes, Deshaun played much better. Yes, Brandon Cooks finally did something. Fuller still had an okay game. What concerns me about the Texans is the fact that the interim head coach, I'm blanking on his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see it, but he said he wants to play Duke Johnson more, and they know what Duke does, and they like Duke. I don't know what that means. What David Johnson's done that he hasn't met their expectations. I mean, he hasn't been a superstar this year by any means, but he's been a very good, consistent running back. So it makes me a little worried. Titans, I mean, Derrick Henry's starting to pick up. If you look what he did against Josh Norman, I know that play was called back, but I mean, you're about to get your fall going into winter Derrick Henry. So I like that. I like the Titans over the Texans here. Ravens, Eagles. I think this game's going to be closer than people think. I'm not going to say I see this as being upset. If I'm going to see it as being upset, I'm going to pick it being an upset. I see this game being closer than people think. I think the Eagles, they see that their division is pretty wide open on terms of who can win it. The Ravens haven't been, playing well on all cylinders, as we talked about in the running game. There's definitely some concerns there. I like the Ravens. Defensively, they've been a little bit of a disappointment. I know I'm saying that as they've had some pretty good games, but you just look at some of the matchups and you look at some of what other teams have been able to do them. Defensively, they haven't been great. I still take the Ravens over Eagles. I just think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a lot closer than I think people expect it to be. As I say that, it's probably going to be a blowout, but I have Ravens and I have it being close. Falcons and Vikings. Jeez Louise, that's going to be a tough one. Actually, I'm going to show you some of what I do for some research here. So when I was talking to my buddy again about this, and I don't actually look at spreads or pick'ems or what money lines, things like that. I try to just look at things that I see. I look at matchups. I look at player trends and player histories. I don't care that the Steelers always beat the Browns. It's a different team. What I do look about is how Roethlisberger plays against certain cornerbacks, or how him and certain wide receivers are doing. I look at Baker Mayfield. But anyway, we're talking with that. I'm looking at some matchups here. So what are we looking at? The Falcons-Vikings game here. So if we look at just the Minnesota Vikings, so it says here, Justin Jefferson's going to have a pretty good Pretty good matchup as is Adam Thielen. So that's something that I really take into consideration, because those two, like Justin Jefferson needs to get back on the winning ways here. As much as I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan, I think he's a bit overrated, and definitely concerned that Dalvin Cook is down. But Madison and Boone, they did it last year too when Cook went down. There's potential there, right? So then we'd see what the dumpster fire of Atlanta has. So that's the other side of it. Again, you're looking at the linebackers, or sorry, not the linebackers, the cornerbacks here for sorry, I just realized that Julio's not on this. So I'm not sure if that's going to be another game without Julio. I've already taken him out of my lineups just because I don't think there's potential this game won't happen. But so yeah, again, whether you put Julio here for one of these guys or not, it's not overly intimidating. So then we talk about a couple of different things. Again, Gurley's played fantastic this year. I'm really high on Gurley. I've actually traded him in most of my leagues. You're welcome, Jordan. But I think Madison and what the O-line can do for the Vikings. And again, we talk about the math. The math is that head coaches don't do well after they get fired. Teams don't do well after head coach gets fired. Even though the Texans did last week, I'm still leaning Vikings. I really am. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Falcons need this win more than the Vikings need this win. I just see the Vikings being able to pull this one off. This is one I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Falcons do well. I really do. I may circle back to this one. I'm kind of talking myself out of it with if Julio's playing. Defensively, the Falcons did a little bit better last week. Again, not great, but you lose to a Panthers team, but the Panthers weren't putting up massive numbers. And the Panthers have a couple really big wide receivers, just like the Falcons do. If you look at DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, plus you can add Curtis Samuel in there. You're kind of looking at the same type of situation that you have with Atlanta. You have Julio, you have Ridley, and then you can put Gage in there. I'm leaning Vikings. I'm going to trust my gut. My gut says Vikings. Gary, I know you're watching this, and you're going to be like, Josh always picks the Vikings. He's a homer. Well, I'm not. I don't even like the Vikings, to be honest, but I just see a couple things clicking there. I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a big game. I think Thielen's going to have another big game. And I think people are going to write him off purely because you lose Dalvin Cook, who is a difference maker. But I think Madison and Boone can step in and be pretty good. Steelers versus the Browns. Here's my only thing with the Steelers. They haven't played a great team yet, and the Browns have. So if we look back up here, you have to beat the bad teams to be good. That's just kind of as a Leafs fan, you always say, you beat the teams you're supposed to beat and you go 50-50 on the other games, you're going to be a playoff team. And I think what you're seeing is the fact that you're getting that with the Steelers. So let's take a look here. The Steelers, who do they play week 1 here? The Steelers beat the Giants. That's a game you should have won. And then the Ravens beat the Browns. And realistically, the Ravens should have won that game. That was a game they should have won. But now you look back, and neither team has lost since, the Browns haven't lost since week 1, and the Steelers haven't lost at all. So you have the Browns beating the Bengals, which is a team they should have beat. So that's something to keep in consideration here. The Steelers beat the Broncos. The Broncos are not good this year. They are not. They're losing Cortland Sutton. I believe, that just the Broncos aren't good. And then you look at the Browns beating Washington. I guess we can say the same thing to the Steelers about the Steelers, right? You beat the teams you're supposed to beat. The Steelers. I picked the Texans to kind of maybe beat the Steelers here. Was not close. Week 4, is this the game the Steelers didn't play? Yeah, the Steelers didn't play this week, and then the Browns beat. Who did the Browns beat? Cleveland, where are you? Did I pick the wrong ones? Browns. Oh, yeah. So the Browns beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good team. The Cowboys are a good offensive team. Now, they are bad defensively. And then we get to week 5 here. The Steelers beat the Eagles. again, I said this about the game this week. The Eagles are better than people think they are, but they're not great. And the Browns beat the Colts, who was one of the hottest teams, the best teams coming into this. Somebody asked me who I'm picking. I said I'm picking the Browns. I think this is a very close game. OBJ sounds like he's playing Mayfield. He's sore, but he's playing. I think that's ammunition for TJ Watt coming in, knowing that the right side of Baker Mayfield, I guess this is my right, the right side of Baker Mayfield's sore. So if you're coming in off the edge, I mean, you're going to take some ab shots or kidney shots and try to mess him up on the right side, especially that being his throwing side. So I think there's a lot of benefits going the Steelers. And if you're like, well, you don't have Chubb, we don't. Dearness Johnson has looked pretty good, and then Hunt. I mean, Hunt is still an elite running back. He didn't miss that time because of his abilities on the field. They missed that time because of things off the field, and it seems like he's kind of figured the off the field stuff out, and it's helping him on the field. I am on the Browns. I'll say it. I'm on the Browns. I think this could go either way. This is going to be a really good game, I hope. I hope this is a fantastic game. I could see it going either way, though, but I'm picking the Browns. Bengals, Colts. I think for the first time this year, I'm actually going to pick the Colts to win a game. Their defense is really good. Joe Burrow's struggled a little bit. AJ Green, I don't know. There's a lot of really good young weapons on Cincy. They cannot figure out how to use Joe Mixon properly, which is concerning. I'm glad they didn't pick up Le'Veon Bell. But the Colts are looking pretty good. I mean, they don't have much of a passing game. Again, having a couple, having Burton, Cox there is pretty good on tight end. But whether it be T.Y. Hilton or Zach Pascal, I mean, they got to pick up a little bit more offensively from the passing game. Running game, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, both doing their job. So pick the Colts here. Lions over the Jags. The Lions have lost their last 4 games of the Lions have lost. They've been up by 10 at some point in the game. I think I heard that stat today. I may be a little bit off on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what the stat was. With that being said, people are picking the Jags to do really well, and I know I said I don't watch spreads and things like that, but when you're watching the TV shows or you're seeing what's going on online, and people are talking about the benefits of the Jags here, I think to me it highly depends on whether DJ Chark plays or not. So just bear with me. I am going to look at my phone here because I did get a notification. Where is? Yeah, it doesn't say here. I don't have it. Don't have it up, but I believe it said DJ Chark was held out of practice again today. I'm going to go to my handy dandy app here. We're going to look at news and see where it says. I know this is fun, entertaining, whatever, YouTube here. DJ Chark, both lists as questionable is what it said here. So AP's missed a couple practices this week. I think Robinson has a bounce back game. I think Minshew's thrown over 300 yards in 4 of the last 5. I think Chenault's going to have a good game. I think and it's at home, right? And there are fans in Jacksonville. So I'm picking the Jags. Again, another close game. Man, this is going to be a good week. I'm running a couple way through this, and there's no really like slam dunks. Maybe Ravens-Eagles, and I've already said that game's going to be close, but it's going to be a good week for football, I think. It's going to be too that I miss it. Bears-Panthers. Jeez, how do you pick against the Panthers right now? They're playing so well. Mike Davis has been phenomenal for Carolina, and I know I said this last week, but what's that mean about CMC? Does that take away his value because of how well Davis has played? I don't think you can do that, or does it also mean that they get a bit more split time? Because CMC played 94% of snaps so far this year, and now when Mike Davis is playing this well, so that's a little concerning. With that being said, the Bears wide receiver matchups, the Panthers cornerbacks cannot handle what the Bears are going to throw at them. I think Nick Foles is definitely showing he's a better backup than starter throughout his career, but he's also showing some of those great plays. And I keep talking about his play to Anthony Miller in that first game against the Falcons, where he told Miller to go, run your route, and he's like, if you see it's a blitz, he's like, I want you to cut in, go to the L in Atlanta, and I'll put it right there. You know what? Let's do this real quick here. Hey, Sean, I'm actually just recording a video right now.
I'm sorry about that.
No, not at all. Where are you leaning on the Bears and Panthers? Everybody watching, this is my buddy Sean. We're going to get him, but because I really don't know what I think right now.
Well, obviously it's the Panthers because they're going to ball out and wreck the place.
All right, very interesting. We were actually just talking about the cornerback matchups, the wide receivers, about how the Bears have the advantage, and how Anthony Miller got his touchdown against the Falcons there. But just so you guys know, I'm going to go against Sean here. I am going to pick the Bears against my better judgment because I agree. We're talking about how good the Panthers are, but the Bears are what it's going to be. With that being said, Mr. Sean, do you mind if I call you back in a few minutes?
Certainly. Also, play Mike Davis wherever you can.
Funny enough, we talked about that, and I'll get your input here. Do you think Mike Davis's emergence takes away from what CMC's done the last couple of years?
No, I think they rely on him too heavily, and they love him too much. However, Mike Davis, even being a journeyman, has definitely shown up and has earned work, but I don't think they're going to give it to him.
Okay, now with that being said, CMC has played 94% of the snaps this year while healthy. And I know last year was somewhere in the 90% as well. Do you think they tone that back to like a regular running back, which is in the mid 80%, and give Mike Davis another, instead of getting only 5% of the snaps, he's going to get between 10 and 15 now? Or do you think it's going to be CMC heavy going forward?
So it's in CMC heavy.
Okay.
He definitely deserves it.
All right. Well, there you have it. CMC heavy. Play Mike Davis this week while you can. All right, I'm halfway through my picks here, Sean. I'll give you a call in a little bit.
All right.
Bye. All right, sorry about that, but hey, guest star, Sean, thank you for coming. Now let's talk about the Washington football team versus the Giants. I mean, you saw Chase Young come back last week. You love to see it. That's good for a young guy who realistically should have been in the running for defensive rookie of the year. Did he miss too many games? I know he only missed a couple there, but did he miss too many games to be back in the running? The one thing we're saying here is the Giants' cornerbacks are actually much higher rated than people think. So if we're looking for the Washington football team here, Terry McLaurin is actually a -2. And you see here you rank from 3 to -3 in terms of the cornerback matchup. So he's a negative, when you play Bradbury's pretty good. Now, your slot and your left cornerback are terrible. I mean, Dontrell Inman should have himself a good game. Also coming out of the backfield, it wasn't a great week for it wasn't a great week for Gibson. And you want to know how he's going to rebound. The Giants are playing well, and I can't believe I'm about to do this because I did not think of this coming in. I'm actually going to pick the Giants. Everything's leaning towards Darius Slayton playing for the Giants. I think Devonta Freeman has shored up the backfield just a little bit. And I think the Giants can pull off the win against the Washington football team this week. I think it's going to be a good game or a terrible game, but it's going to be a close game. The Patriots-Broncos. Now, this is where, as a Patriots fan, I'm having a really hard time with this game, because people are mad at the Patriots. And as I said a few minutes ago, the Patriots just had a couple more positive tests. So is this game going to get played? Who knows? I am going to pick it, though. The Broncos are pissed off at the Patriots. They do not like the fact that they didn't get to play last week, and you saw Melvin Gordon go off on it. Well, unfortunately, Melvin Gordon's probably not playing. Actually, that notification just came to my phone that Melvin Gordon didn't practice today. They said it was a precautionary illness issue, but let's be honest, after his DUI last week, and if you read the report on it, it was a pretty nasty DUI. The speed he was going and his blood alcohol plus the open containers there, not great. So, and Cam's back, and you have Stephon Gilmore back. I mean, the Patriots are going to win this game. They are. The Patriots are just too good of a team to lose to the Broncos. if you're, like I said, I don't look at team stats, but you look at player stats, and Cam Newton is 0-3 versus the Broncos, but there's no Von Miller, there's no Peyton Manning, I don't think he has that same quote unquote like Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts out there when you play the Patriots. I don't think Cam has that when he plays the Broncos. Cam has some confidence. Cam has the swagger. I think it's going to be the Patriots, and I think it's going to be the Patriots pretty big. It's in Foxborough, so taking the Patriots in that one, and I'm not even going to look back. Dolphins, Jets. I will never pick an Adam Gase team to win a game. He's terrible. And the one thing, like, I love playing devil's advocate. I think you can hear that in my voice when I talk about sports. I'm like, I talk myself out of things. I love just contradicting. I love going against whatever I'm saying. But the one thing I will say about Adam Gase is he came into New York to coach the Jets, and the first thing they did was bring in a running back he said he didn't want. And they talked about how no player is bigger than the team, and why they cut Le'Veon. Now, Le'Veon Bell is what he is. I think he's a good running back, but he's also 28, which makes him one of the top 5 oldest running backs in the league right now, along with Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry's 27. I know you have your APs. I know you have your Frank Gores, who are now going to be for the Jets, and I don't know who the Jets running back's going to be. I mean, it's going to be Gore, but are you going to see some more of the young guys getting some touches? If you look at fantasy projections, they have the young guys getting more touches than Gore. But that hasn't been the case while Bell was out. It's been all Gore. So again, like, I'm picking the Dolphins this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win. I don't think it'll be considered an upset because neither team is really good. I just see a little bit more coming from the Jets than people expect because they got rid of Le'Veon. This is an interdivision game. Now, the Jets haven't done well against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have won 4 of the last 5. And I think you can bring that up because, Gase has been in New York for a couple years now, and you're pretty much the same players. You have Fitzmagic with the fish now. So, again, I'm going Dolphins. Dolphins over Jets. But I think the Jets can make it a little scary. I don't see them winning, but it can make it scary. Packers, Buccaneers. Talk about homerism 2.0 now, because we just did this with the Patriots. The Packers are arguably the league's best offense. Aaron Rodgers is playing fantastic. You have them coming off a bye. Devontae Adams may actually play a game again. Aaron Jones has looked great, and then you have the tight end coming out of nowhere. The Buccaneers defense is still the number 1 defense, or top. I think it's number 1 in defense in the league right now, but it could be top 3. But number 1 is what I'm saying. You're going against a Tom Brady who's pretty upset after losing to the losing to the Bears. You have Chris Godwin back, which frees up Mike Evans, because Mike Evans getting, averaging 1 yard per catch 3 games this year. He's averaged almost only a yard per catch, something like that, or under 5 yards per catch. When you're a wideout, that shouldn't happen. I'm picking the Packers. I am picking the Packers. I think this is going to be a hell of a game. Whether the Packers win or the Bucs win, I'm watching this game. Hopefully, if I'm able to get on my phone with DAZN. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think it could go either way. I'm leaning Packers, and I'm surprised because I was leaning Bucs coming into this, but I'm leaning Packers. I think they're, especially if Adams is back, I think they're just going to be too powerful, and the better offense will beat a better defense. So, Rams 49ers. Sorry, San Francisco, but you're going to have some hard luck here going forward. The Rams are defensively sound. The Rams are offensively sound. The Rams are special team sound. The Rams are sound. The 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo is not right. Whether he plays or not, he is not mentally, physically in the right spot right now to be one of the top paid quarterbacks in the league. Deebo Samuel is going against Jalen Ramsey, who, besides getting beat up against the against the Cowboys in Week 1 has been just off the charts. He's only been letting up 1.9 yards per pass attempt since that Week 1 when he got lit up for 8 for 81, 8 catches and 81 yards. So it's going to be Rams. It's going to be Rams all day. 49ers, get your team healthy and come back and play a little bit better next week. Chiefs versus Bills. Keep in mind, Le'Veon Bell cannot play. He has to go through 5 consecutive days of negative COVID testing before he can even come and do the physicals and get all kind of everything finalized. So Le'Veon Bell will not play. My concern is what signing Le'Veon Bell does to Edwards-Helaire's confidence. I keep seeing people saying, well, they didn't draft him to be a bell cow. And that seems to be more and more what people are saying, that, you're not seeing those bell cows anymore. Well, they have to step up. And the signing of Le'Veon, is that going to have Edwards-Helaire step up? Or is that going to knock him down a couple pegs because he's going to lose some confidence? Edwards-Helaire leads the league in targets and touches in the red zone. And he only has 1 touchdown. It's Week 1. The Bills are a good team. The Bills had a really bad week, and Sean McVay is going to be Sean McVay. No, that's the Rams coach. Jeez Louise. Whoever the coach is for the Bills here. Let's just figure this out. Let's go Bills head coach. Sean McDermott. There we go. Sean McDermott is going to have himself a pretty big week in what he looks for. So if you're looking at what Buffalo is looking at, so you have -1, -3, -1. So Tyrann Mathieu is going to be here, but you have Ward and Breland on the outside, who are also pretty solid cornerbacks. And then if you look at what KC's after, Tyreek Hill against Josh Norman. Josh Norman hasn't played well since coming back. You have McCole Hardman, who's supposed to be having a good week this week. You have DeMarcus Robinson, and then you add in Edwards-Helaire. You add in Travis Kelce. You add in Sammy Watkins if he plays. I think when you're looking at this, KC has too many weapons. They get a little bit of a jolt now that Le'Veon Bell's coming. The Chiefs beat the Bills at home. The Bills are at home. The Bills are going to lose at home. It's a close game. It's a tough game to pick. I just think, the Bills are going to face some adversity here, and I think they're going to have a hiccup coming back. And I think you saw that last weekend where Josh Allen, the things that he was doing well all year, he struggled with last week. And it's a short week. You play on Tuesday, and now you're going to play again on Sunday. Chiefs-Bills, tough game, picking the Chiefs. Which brings us to our last game of the week here, Cardinals versus Cowboys. Andy Dalton has made a statement to Dallas saying, hey, this is who I am. It was kind of a spoof, I guess you could say. It was kind of comical, but I think it was serious. And the Cowboys are still good. Dalton is not Dak. Dak is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Dalton is not. I mean, he's a backup for a reason. Is he a 25 to 35 quarterback? Maybe. He's had success in the league. He has more weapons than he's ever had in his life. Zeke is going to touch the ball more. That's great because Zeke is a deal breaker, or is a game breaker. I think the Cardinals keep the momentum going. They've lost some games they should have won early on. I think D-Hop goes off here. I think Christian Kirk has another big week. I think between Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake, neither of them are good so far this year, but both of them combined are good enough. Actually, I saw some power rankings, and people have Chase Edmonds above Kenyon Drake this week. So take that for what it is. I'm going Cardinals in a game that the Cowboys need to win. And I think they could win, but I'm going Cardinals on this one. So I did say I'm going to do week 7. Yeah, let's just run through it real quick here. Giants, Eagles, I'm picking the Eagles over the Giants. Panthers, Saints, I'm picking the Saints over the Panthers. You should have Michael Thomas back. Some rest from not playing this week where you're going to get Kamara. So you have that. Bills versus Jets. Bills are going to bounce back in a big way versus the Jets. Browns Bengals. Again, this is another game that the Browns should win, so they're going to win. Cowboys versus Washington. I have the Cowboys losing. They need to bounce back against a Washington team that is missing some weapons. Not that anybody's out, they just are missing weapons. They need some more. So I'm going to go Cowboys. Packers over the Texans. I mean, the Texans just are in rough right now. Lions over the Lions of Falcons. You know what? The Falcons are going to get it on track here. Falcons are going to beat the Lions. Steelers versus the Titans. I think a lot has to do with this game this week. I'm going to go Steelers. I think Titans are going to have back everybody, though, from COVID list. Oh, jeez. I'm going to go Titans over Steelers. Now, if I can find a way to record this video, these are not my final picks for Week 7. This is just in case I don't have time to record a Week 7 video. Seahawks versus Cardinals. I'm going to take the Seahawks, especially after a bye. Chiefs versus Broncos. Sorry, Broncos, you're not going to do it. Chargers after a bye over the Jags. Patriots over the 49ers because, well, the Patriots over the 49ers. I am going to do the Bucks over the Raiders because the Bucks need to have a bounce back after losing 2 in a row. And I have the Rams over the Bears. The Rams, I think, are as good now as they were when they went to the Super Bowl. So, Week 7 very easily is going to change. And even if I'm not able to make another video, maybe I'll just post my projections on a screenshot or something. But this is my Week 7. But my Week 6 is the kind of the ones I want to in depth with. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Sean, for calling and chiming in on what you thought Bears Panthers. Anyways, I know this is a no frills video. It was much longer than I expected it to be, but just wanted to get through it. So thank you very much, guys. Wish me the best of luck, and best luck to you guys too.